I want to thank my wife, Ruth. She graduated 60 years ago in the class of 1958. And I met her when she was 7, and I was about 10. But it wasn't love at first sight, but we then ended up going to East High and have some of the same friends from our high school days. I would say I'd be thankful to those at East High who have recognized the honor, and I'm grateful to those who are doing this. I didn't expect it. It's very unexpected, but very much appreciated. Being inducted into the East High Hall of Fame is a very special honor for me because I think it represents the success of an effort I made as a young teenage boy. I built on the foundation of East High, and academically I went through 4 more degrees, and it was my basis. The honor, you just can't express the importance of an honor like that. That's my alma mater. And to be recognized by my alma mater is very special. And for me, after all these years, I've been teaching college students for over 50 years. But I would say this honor equates with any I've received in the past, and I'm grateful. Well, I had a lot of exciting times at East Des Moines High. First of all, I lived in Union Park District, so I walked to school every day. And when I began driving, I drove my little car to East High, and it was a very small car, and my friends sometimes picked it up and moved it. So I never knew when I got out of school if my car would be where I put it. But it was a great experience being there. I think my fondest memory at East High was probably co-editing the East High Scroll, because it put me in contact with professors and my fellow students in a way that I never would have known them otherwise. My experience at East High was very good. Went to all the games, especially. I had friends playing basketball, so we were loyal. Red and black to you will be true and will bring great honor to you. Still remember those days very fondly. East High shaped me, I think, in a very good way. It helped me be a better scholar. I did very well at East High. I ended up with 1 B, but academically it was challenging. I think probably one of the most important classes I took was typing, because in that day, most boys didn't take typing. Those classes were usually for future stenographers. In those days, that was usually a girl. But I was one of 2 boys in our typing class, and we wanted to compete with the girls in dinging the bell just as fast as they did. So I built speed in that class. And all the way through my future academic work, especially working on my PhD at the University of Illinois, I was assistant to the chair of the department and his assistant scholar. I had to help him write a biography of Stephen A. Douglas, but in order to get to my work, I had to finish his work. So I got my typing speed up to 85 words a minute. That meant I could get to my work, and that is because I took typing at East High. So that's a real positive in my life. But it was academically challenging for me and very good. It built a foundation for 8 years of academic work, solid, ending up with 6 languages as a result. I think the message I would like to share with East High students is, first of all, you're there for an academic purpose. I would encourage you to study, get the most out of your class experience. Even if you could even go a little beyond that, I would encourage you to do that. But also, it's a special time in your life that will never come back again. So enjoy your friendships. They may last a lifetime, and I hope they do. But I'd say academically, you're there for that purpose. Secondly, don't miss the fun of high school time. It's a very special time in your life, and it never will ever come back the same way. This is your opportunity, and take advantage of it. The message I would give to East High alumni is recognize, as I am, the importance of what East High means to you, academically, but also in the relationships you develop there. And I still have friends and contact from my time at East High, and we're talking the 1950s. My wife's cousin is a graduate of East High the same year I was, and we still have contact today. And we're down the road a little bit, but East High gave us a foundation we've built on, and that's special. You need to have a strong academic result of your education there. That's very important. In some cases, for some students, that may be the only strong educational experience they may have. My 18-year-old, I hope, would go on for further academic work and build on what he has learned at East High. But again, I think the relationships are very important in your high school years. And I would tell my 18-year-old, enjoy your time. It's your time, and it'll never be the same again. Yes, I became interested in history as a very young boy, already in grade school. And during that time, I was corresponding with Lincoln scholars across the United States. And as a result, I corresponded with the last living Civil War veterans when I was a boy. There were still 7 alive in 1950. I saw the last one, so to speak, die in 1959. He was 106 years old, and I corresponded with him. Today, there's a statue on Cemetery Ridge of my correspondent, which is interesting. He's in metal now, but we were corresponding friends at that time. I would say I found the photograph just before I began at East High. So that discovery was already in place in my high school years, and I continued my interest. I began speaking to people in Des Moines, groups. I actually began speaking about Lincoln to the daughters of Union veterans in Des Moines. My first talks were on Lincoln to the daughters of the Union soldiers. So I knew the kids of the veterans in Des Moines. I remember 1946, our centennial parade in Des Moines for the 100th anniversary of Iowa. And there were still Civil War veterans going past in cars at that time. So I kind of plugged in already in my teen years while at East High to Iowa's Civil War experience. And then in my hometown of Pella, Iowa, the founder of that town was a friend of Lincoln's. And since that time, I have documented his relationship with Abraham Lincoln and have even written about it. His name was Henry Peter Schulte. And all of that was already present when I was at East High. I was talking about Lincoln, I was writing about Lincoln, and traveling to historic sites during my East High years. Where would I picture myself today?
Like in the building, if you were
in the building.
To think of yourself back at East High School.
Yeah, see, I haven't been there since, would you believe I haven't been to the high school since I graduated? That's 1955. And the buildings have been added. There's a lot more on campus than there was when I was there. I was around the principal's office a bit in that hallway, asking for permission to go different places, and our principal was very gracious. I don't know where else I would put myself in the building because I haven't been there for a while. I probably would put myself in the room where we were working on the scroll. Spent a lot of time. I was co-editor with Joanne Gass of that very good paper. We worked hard on that. We spent a lot of time in the scroll room, and we built good relationships with each other and with the faculty. So I'd say I spent more time there probably than any other room. The question is, how do I live in the present since I've lived a lot in the past? Well, first of all, I've got a wife that keeps me in the present all the time. Plus, we have 2 sons and their families, and that's a big help to stay in the present. Our grandson is 13 years old, Jacob Rietveld, living in Pella, and it's so much fun to be with him, and he's so much smarter than I am in the world of computers and all, that I lean on him for help once in a while. But We have a good time with our granddaughter in California. She's 21. She's graduating this year from California State University, Long Beach, in the area of communications. And she wants to go on into that world and end up being another Dr. Rietveld. That would be the third in the family. So I have a granddaughter, 21, and a grandson 13, and they keep me very present. Although I've been passing on the family heritage to both of my grandchildren. We have walked the cemeteries in Pella. There are 3 where all of my family are buried that came in 1847 with Sculty. And my children and my grandchildren know the family heritage in Pella, Iowa. My grandfather, great-great-great-grandfather, helped found that town in 1847. His name was Jan Rietveld. He helped lead 800 Hollanders for religious freedom and financial wherewithal to Pella. And we are founding family. But that's past, but it's also present as well.